Yes, seventh language sounds a bit daunting, but the good news is I figured a way to do it. It only took me 27 years, but I think I know how to learn a language in a way that you're passionate and motivated about it, and you don't get bored doing it. So, just a bit of background, I speak six languages, four of them fluently, two of them in a more or less okay. So, I speak Arabic natively, French almost natively, and then I speak English, very advanced Turkish, I speak very good Spanish, um, okay-ish German. So now I'm going on to my seventh language, and that's Danish. The reason why is that my partner is Danish and I want to learn his language, and I put myself a deadline of 1 month. The reason is that I'm gonna see his family in Christmas, and I've seen them before, and they have to switch to English every time, and I don't want to be the person that they change their native language because of. So I put it as an aim: 1 month, and I have to learn Danish. Well, let me tell you how I used to do it before and what I think may change the game. So, before, the way I learned English, Turkish, Spanish, this is my first step, always. First step, watch stuff. Watch stuff in that language with subtitles in the same language. You're not gonna get it at the first time, but you're gonna get it second, third time. This is how we're born like babies. We don't understand what our parents are saying, but we eventually get it. That's the same thing with a lot of languages because they have a bit of similarity. The people's faces, the way they interact with each other is very similar. However, I got into a roadblock when I started learning German because I tried to do it the same way and I wasn't getting anything. The same way, I know that this works because I have a friend of my partner's that said she's Danish and her partner is Spanish, and the way they communicate is that every week they switch to a language. And we tried to do that, we failed miserably because we couldn't understand anything. He couldn't understand anything in Arabic and I couldn't understand anything in Danish. So here's where we move to the second step if that doesn't work. Or even if it works and you need a little bit of more basic and fundamental knowledge, is to go through the grammar and vocabulary learning. And this is what I do. I immerse myself into it. So Duolingo, sure, for vocab is great. For talking, it's not so great. So what I do is I generally really practice a lot on Duolingo, but if it's a language as hard as German or Danish, I usually get one of these books. It's called Complete Danish, and it basically helps you to learn the rules of grammar, why things are in that way, the tenses, and it helps you get a fundamental knowledge of the language. The other thing that I usually do is I buy one of those books on Amazon called like short stories of that language, and I try to just read it that way. And every time I don't understand something, I'll just write it down and just to help myself really learn that word. So this is not easy. I try to do, if I'm like really like challenged with the language, I try to do a bit at least every day. Then the really major part of it is how you can go to the next step to actually speak the language. Because if you have a bit of vocab, you have a bit of fundamental, speaking the language, if it's the pronunciation is as hard as German or Danish, oy, my friend. So the first thing I did with German, because I found that I wasn't pronouncing anything close to the language, and once I said to a German friend when I was talking to him, he was like, stop talking German, my ears are bleeding. So that brings us to the third step and the final step on how to rock any language, is to practice, but practice in a way that won't make you feel bad about saying the words in a wrong way. For example, when I started learning German, I used Babbel, and this is in no way sponsored, although you're welcome to sponsor me. That basically Babbel gives you subscription. If you go like for 6 months subscription, you have unlimited number of classes. So I can go to any German class and practice. Like I did like in a span of like, I don't know, 3-4 months, I did 90 classes and I really improved my German pronunciation so much. The way I'm doing it now with Danish is that I either speak to people through like are my common people that I know that are Danish, my partner who is Danish. I know this is a bonus that not everyone has, but there's Meetup, the app, where you can meet polyglots and people who speak the other languages. And this is a nice and fun way because everyone knows that you're not proficient in that language. So mistakes are very much welcomed. And then it's a bit of a more relaxed way to practice and advance a bit in that language. Another way is Reddit. I found subscribing to the local Danish Reddit super helpful. I would see people posting in Danish, trying to figure out what they're talking about, seeing how people respond, the culture behind that. It's super useful. And there is always a subreddit called learn/that language. So I'm subscribed to the Learn Danish subreddit, to the Learn German subreddit, and they're super helpful. So watch a lot of stuff, immerse yourself, podcasts, shows, movies. Get around to that grammar, fundamental, and then speak. I know it sounds easy, it sounds easier, more said than done, but you'll absolutely love it. In a month's time, I will post another video and show you my progress in Danish. Currently, I'm close to zero, non-existent, but you'll see using this exact method how much I progress. Don't forget to subscribe to see how it goes, and what language are you learning?